Pope St. John Paul II, during his pontificate, he talked about the new evangelization. And by using these modern tools, both the radio and the internet, we can proclaim Christ to all peoples. Of course, Catholic radio fits into that very well.
Why is it necessary to have Catholic radio at all? By virtue of our baptism, we're all called to be evangelists, to proclaim the gospel of Jesus, to bring people to Christ, to be salt and light to everyone.
My wife and I had had a career in the Air Force, and we retired in 1994 and came back to Boise. While she was initially engaged as a school teacher at St. Paul's Elementary School in Nampa, she learned about a Catholic radio program that was being broadcast on a Protestant radio station here in the Treasure Valley, and we listened to it and we were blown away by the quality of the program.
Hello and welcome to Catholic Answers Live on this Friday afternoon. Maybe it's a Friday evening.
And it turned out to be a broadcast of Catholic Answers Live. We looked into it and we became involved with keeping that on the air for the next 10 years.
It's about 2007 when I first learned that there was such a thing as Catholic radio. I had been on a sales trip in Walla Walla, Washington, and found out that there was a Catholic radio station there. I thought if little Walla Walla can support a Catholic radio station, we ought to be able to do something here in Boise.
Keith Pettijohn came to me at St. Mary's after Sunday Mass and pointed out to me that he had just been exposed to a Catholic radio station in Walla Walla, Washington, and that he thought that we should pursue getting a Catholic radio station here in the Treasure Valley. And he extracted from me a commitment that I would help him for 5 years. And that's turned into 15.
We got our first stations purchased in 2009, and now 15 years later, we're up to 11 signals, and Lord willing, going to put on another 3 signals this year.
The value of the volunteers in the early days was, I can safely say, total. We had a young lady volunteer to participate in our first pledge drive, which Keith spearheaded, but was massively organized by Carol Brown.
We flipped the switch actually on my birthday, September 25th, 2009. It's been 15 years of a blessed experience, a great life, meeting wonderful people, and hearing the stories of the impact of Salt and Light Catholic Radio.
There are a few things that make Catholic radio, and specifically Salt and Light Radio, different from other stations. Most importantly, it's fulfilling that great mission to proclaim Christ. And more specifically, it's teaching Catholicism.
I was invited to teach on Salt and Light, and I was very interested in doing that because I am a teacher at heart. I think the fact that people could be in their car in the privacy of that little space and nobody else knows what they're listening to. Maybe you're not Catholic and you decide to wonder what Catholics really believe, and you start listening to Salt and Light. There are so many conversions because of that. To me, it's proven that it's extremely effective.
I was driving to Boise from Twin Falls and, listening to the radio and wanted to find something good to listen to and just kind of going through the dials, and I heard a friendly voice and it ended up that was Brian Howell. My first impression was I had never heard anything like this about the Catholic Church. It was like, wow. After listening to the radio for about a year, I knew I wanted to be Catholic and came into the church May 30th, 2020.
Catholic radio has helped me to live out my vocation, first of all by helping me to continue to study and to learn, but also now as a teacher of the faith, I'm able to use these mediums to share the gospel, to share the good news, and also to teach the truths of our Catholic faith.
Any show, honestly, you could probably find the topic. We have a program guide at saltandlightradio.com, and there's a listen button. You can find the different ways to listen, even on your phone if we're outside of your listening area. Salt and Light Radio puts on 4 conferences for men and women in both English and in Spanish. It's a day-long conference in which we bring in some national speakers and just have an opportunity to be taught and learn and pray together.
We had a vision of building out a little network of stations across the Diocese of Boise. We then turned our sights down to the Magic Valley and we were able to build a little 1 kilowatt AM in Wendell. We subsequently did find a big 5 kilowatt day and night signal down there in Twin. First time in 17 years there was an application window for new full power, non-commercial FM signals. There were 2 frequencies available in Grangeville, Cottonwood. We applied for full power signals in Mountain Home, in Sun Valley, and in eastern Idaho. So we built the one in Grangeville first. We built the one out in eastern Idaho last fall, and Lord willing, get Mountain Home and Sun Valley built later this year.
Catholic radio gives an opportunity for folks to be connected with other Catholics from throughout the diocese, and also to be developing their relationship with God.
To have a medium like Catholic radio that unites them regionally as well as unites them to the statewide church and to the national and international church, I think that's one of the most powerful impacts of Catholic radio in general.
Catholic radio is needed because we have a mission to proclaim Jesus, and there's so many people that have never heard of Jesus, really, not in a way that's dynamic for them.
I've had several priests and OCIA directors let me know that a lot of the people in attendance of those classes are there because of what they heard on Salt and Light Radio. People are hearing things on the radio and realize, maybe I didn't know the faith as much as I could have.
Without question, wherever the signal is taken, people will listen. And when they listen, they will discover the truth. When those misunderstandings are cleared up, they will look at, how do I become part of this? Because this is correct. If the people from Magic Valley had not brought the signal to Twin Falls, I would not be Catholic. There would have been no way for me to know anything about the Catholic Church.
Through the generous support of our listeners, not only able to continue our operations, but these summer events are critically important for raising additional working capital so that we can grow. To achieve our mission of evangelizing and teaching the faith and building a network that eventually covers the entire state of Idaho, we simply have to have these events in order to raise the capital to be able to do so.
As disciples of Jesus, we're called to witness to Him. And because Salt and Light is doing that in such an orthodox and modern way, I feel it's a privilege and it's a joy, but in a sense it's a responsibility too, to contribute to that.
When Pope St. John Paul II talked about the new evangelization, he said this: "No believer in Christ, no institution of the church can avoid the supreme duty to proclaim Christ to all peoples." And maybe if folks ask themselves, how is it that I can contribute to this supreme duty of proclaiming Christ? Well, one way by which we can all do this is by contribute financially. By contributing to Salt and Light Radio, we know that we'll be doing our small part in proclaiming Christ to all peoples.
You need to give today because God has called you also to a special work of evangelization. We need your help. We ask that you join us in this work of evangelization that we're doing. God has given you gifts just like He's given us gifts. And we ask that you share some of your gifts with us so that together we can make a difference in bringing people to Christ and His church here in Idaho.